That's it. Easy team talk, that one, isn't it? And I just said to the players, it's one of those. It's that dual-edged. So at the moment, our effort and energy. Like I say, the way we defended was outstanding. It, like I say, it's the second half, especially when we've put so much effort into it because we didn't want to keep hold of the ball. We just wanted to defend all the time. Yeah, like I said, I've just said to him, I said I'd rather have a bad day with the ball than without it. We had a bad day today with the ball. Like I say, some of our decision making, some just things didn't stick. We got a couple of tough calls. Like I say, in reflection, I'm sat here now feeling some of the calls went against us, but that's the way the game seemed to be falling. I think that when we're our own worst enemy, that a couple of decisions on the hands in and the ball coming loose. Yeah, I'd have to watch the game, but at the moment I'm feeling a bit sore on the fact that nothing seemed to go our way today. So I think that's more the fact of the players than anything else as well. I think it was a tough day with when we had hold of the ball. We just lacked any kind of understanding, any kind of access. And I will say this, Charlie Runciman and Kev left the side in the last training session last week. Tom Gilmore ain't trained with his team. Now, I mean, it's one of those, like, you can't run a half-back pairing that's going as well as Kev and Joe have, and they're in the sessions every single day. We're getting 3-4 hours a week working together with the team, and Tom's been flirting around the edge of that. He's fit, but he hasn't had any time in the team, and he still hasn't. He's played 2 games and hasn't trained, because you can't do, like I said, these 2 games. So that's probably one of the reasons why. So there's certain other things there, like we've got to catch a ball for a start, whether we know where we're going and what we're doing on the back of it, and the decision-making elements. And Tom will get better. I know he's his own worst critic. He'll be filthy with himself today with some of the stuff he did. But there are certain situations where, he hasn't done a training session with Joey any more than 15 minutes.
Unlikely to get guys like Charlie and Kevin back in there?
It's pretty unlikely at the moment. Just the way they say we're flying to France, they've both got tight backs and hamstrings. It's one of those where the decision making is that do we force them back and then lose them again for another 3 or 4 weeks, or do we use the squad that we have done over the last 2 games and fail valiantly? So at the moment we keep you put yourself in strong positions by defending like we defended today. I think that's one of those things where we've never had a problem with our attack. We get people back. Felt the effort and the energy defensively today was outstanding. It took St Helens, it took them 4 repeat sets and the first to score the first try. It took them 3 repeat sets to score on the next try. So we've got a catch from a winger or a drop pass with the ball that keeps giving them opportunities. But it took them a long time to score points. It was like a goal line defence session at one stage. I was running a training session. You get a little bit of consistency, which we did. We needed a good start this year. I think last year we started okay last year, but then we got some injuries. But we knew we needed to keep players on the field. We knew we needed a good start, and that's because we knew this kind of period was going to test us because of our squad depth. I know we've got more quality players in our squad at the moment, but we've got nobody outside of 22 that can, like I said, then you're talking about kids that haven't played. They've got 1 or 2 Super League games in them. So we knew we were going to be tested about this time, and the good start gave us a little bit of a buffer. But expectations have changed. Our own aspirations have changed slightly, and I think, like I said, that you move the goalposts a little bit, and we've had some pats on the back for the first part of the year, which rightly so. But it doesn't make it any different than we know where we are as a group. We know that we've got some things that we need to keep getting better at, but we also know that we're better this year than we were last year, and we know that we're going to push hard in some quality games towards the end of the year.
Ed Chamberlain, I think that was it was certainly his first game this season. I can't remember him playing for you in the Super League before. Were you happy with the way he went?
It was real good. Like you say, coming there into the side, didn't look out of place. Didn't get a lot of opportunities to show his ability with the ball, but defensively he got in the way, and he was committed against a good, solid centre in Peru. And so I think he made some good decisions and made a good fist of it for himself to keep pushing forward and be a Super League player.
I suppose people would look at the points you've scored over the Easter weekend and to compared to what you were doing previously and say that your attack hasn't hit the heights. And is the reason for that? People are just going to say, well, no Kev Brown, aren't they?
Yeah, we're not. It's not about Kev. It's just they say this. As I said in the press conferences today, it's Tom's. It's hard to run a side where you think you're going to make changes all the time. So when you train every day and you train to keep making changes, then you don't get any real consistency in the things you try to do. You don't build any understanding in your halves and your fullback and your nine. So you know that you've got 2 nines and you rotate them in. You've got halves that are not going to change in a game. So you try and filter in your, like you say, your optional players when everybody's fit as much as you can. But you don't get lots of time with them.
No.
And Tom's been unfortunate. Like I say, he's been training. He's training good. He's fit. He's ready to play. But he hasn't done any training with us. He gets thrown in. Kev and Charlie hurt their hamstrings in our last session before the Warrington game. We haven't run a training session since then. So it's like I say, these last 2 games, there's been a little bit of stop-start about us. That's because we've not trained. We haven't done any work with the team that we put out there. But then, like I say, you change your halves, and it just doesn't stick. And we didn't attack badly. We were just an inch off. And against a good side, I thought Warrington. When you watch it back, Warrington defended really, really well. I mean, I didn't think they could defend that well on their line, and as they did against us. They were really committed and worked really hard, and they made some real good decisions. And we didn't attack that badly. We just didn't go after them enough times and keep applying pressure. We finished the set when they went the full length. We'd had a couple of opportunities, and then we finished that set with a real bad kick, a real poor kick, and they get to the 20 metres easier, and then they go and get a penalty on the back of that to score in the corner. And so there's not massive margins, but that's what we always wanted to put ourselves in was those tight margins against the good sides.
Yeah.
And no matter which way you look at it, Warrington are top of the league and now are unbeaten up until yesterday. St Helens have played in grand finals and been top 4 for the last 20 years. So I thought they're a good side and they know how to win tight games. But we put ourselves in that place, and that's where we want to be.
Right.
And that's a learning experience in itself. Yeah. Going to Wigan, then going to Warrington, then going to St Helens, and playing well in all 3 games. That's an experience that we have to go through. I know everybody wants us to win this year, next year. Looks at it. Well, you're 5 years. We are 5 years in, and every year we've got better. There's going to come a point where we can't get any better, but that's when we're doing what Leeds did last year.
So Wigan, Warrington, St Helens. So you're easy this week then, Catalan. No problem.
It's nice to see.
Have you got special challenges?
It's nice to see the period. I think, like I say, last couple of years we've changed it around a little bit. Cass have been. I think the last couple of years, Cass have been. Last 3 years, I think Cass have been to Catalan a couple of times. We've been to Catalan over Easter break as well. But like I say, there's no getting away from like Warrington, St Helens, Catalan away. But somebody's got to do it. It just seems that last year we got Catalan away over the Easter period. This year we got Catalan away just over the Easter period. Like I say, I'm not really sure who's writing this down or where it's coming from. I'm hopeful today to look at some lads in a bit of a tougher environment with some of the physios and see if they've pulled through. So we can push them in, maybe push them into the team this weekend. Your Chris Bridges, your Charlie Hunslands. I need some feedback on Heps. I don't know where he is at the moment. We've got a couple of lads that yesterday were just banged and bumped. Tightness in their backs, and Chris Dean was one of them. I say Hep was another. It's just we've gone from being not massively healthy, but having a good roster to pick from to having a tough situation this week where some of the other players that are out there on the edges could get a chance again.
Are you ruling at this stage? It's only Monday and the game Saturday, obviously, but are you ruling any of those people out, any of the missing people out at this stage, Dennis?
No, like I say, today's the day where, and I'm doing it today with you, is a tough one because we're not going to have a lot of chances tomorrow, do we? Heads are off. We fly out on Saturday morning early, so I need to see where they are today. So today's a big call for us, really. And at the moment, the trip's the thing that kills you. Like I say, it's Because all the stuff we're talking about, we're not talking about sore ankle or sore shoulder where they're coming back from. We're talking about tightness and back problems just because of the low workload we've been under. And then sitting on a plane for 4 hours, going to the south of France, sitting all day in a hotel room is not going to be easy for us.
What's Stephen Marsh's issue?
Calf. I'm sure, I don't think he'll be right through. Same with Lloyd White, I don't think he'll be right through.
I believe you're going out and back in the day for Catalan, trying that this time.
It's worked for a few sides. I think it's not just a logistical thing because we're taking 2 teams. Part of the promotion for the under-19s this year and trying to get Catalans a little bit more involved in that side of the development of the game in France. Is putting the 19s in the competition, full competition this year, so we have to take lads over there. We've gone with 2 teams. Say the cost implications and logistics of 60 people staying in hotels, 60, 70 people staying in hotels for 2 or 3 nights. It's tough and expensive. Chartering a flight in and out. Plus this time of year, flying to Barcelona, travelling from Barcelona. Like I say, it's a big ask for such a large group. You charter a flight, you can fly into Perpignan, you can stay in a hotel all day, and you can fly straight out again. It's a challenge. It's worked for some teams, it's not worked for others, but we'll take that challenge on this weekend.
Had a bit of a dodgy start, Catalan, didn't they? But they seem to have turned a corner, and they should do, shouldn't they? They've got some very good players in that team.
I think you've been out there. I think when you look, taking Mile over there to play with what's his name? Carney. It's a good combination. Carney's a world-class player. Like I say, you don't win the Dally M if you can't play a little bit in the house. And he's found his feet over last year, so he's playing exceptionally well. But then you look at Taylor and you look at Mason, without looking at Casti, Muniz. They say they've got an exceptionally large, talented front line, and then out on their backs. I know Christian Dinian won't play this week, but I think Mescal showed he could play a little bit last night, and then Guizot's been playing really well. Pat Richards. It is what it is. We know that they're a massive challenge, and they've underachieved. And I think Lauren will be first to say the last couple of years they've underachieved slightly throughout the 28 rounds or whatever it was then, and they've done okay in one stage when they got into the playoffs. But week in, week out, I think he's been after a bit more consistent form. I think they're starting to find the feet a little bit now. So it's going to be. It's about energy this week. It's about getting ourselves into a place where we can actually go and compete, and that's with big men and their own turf. Like I say, they've had a rest. They'll have a week where they've just sat around in the sunshine, getting ready for what comes next. It snowed this morning. I can't. I was driving in this morning. Motorway's blocked, and it's not sleet or it's not just a little bit. As big as giant snowflakes coming down. It's like love spring.
Just finally, Dennis, on a different tack, I think you mentioned Rhys Hambry in your post-match at Warrington, and he was superb again yesterday.
He was outstanding.
He just, hopefully that form can continue, but at the moment I would put him up there with any fullback who's not.
I think in the last couple of years he's been up there with any fullback. When you look at his numbers, I know last year his expectation and it had to change a little bit because of how good a year he had the year before. So he sort of put himself down some markers, but then it felt like he underachieved last year. But when you look at, he's still in the top meter makers. He's still in the top defenders beaten, and he didn't get the tries that he was after last year. But he's gone away. He knows that he has to play a little bit better. He knows the demands on him now are greater, and this is showing how much he's worked at his game, how much he's developed. Like I said, the added value of working with Brett as well is, like say, his understanding of playing at fullback. You can't take away the fact of how much quality Brett's given to his game, and he'll be the first to admit it, not just with his kicking game but with his positional sense on the goal line and And that it's really easy for someone like myself to know what I want from a fullback and just tell him what I want. But when Brett sits down with him, he knows why, and he knows when, and he knows how. It's like it's innate in him. And that's what Reece has really fed off, the fact that like Brett's really helped him, and Reece will be the first to say that, to get the understanding of how to play at fullback. He's not had that many games as a fullback, I say 2 or 3 years, but if you're looking at turning him into making those decisions more and more, that's bad English, more often, then the quality now is starting to come through in his game.
You're going to be able to keep hold of him, Dennis.
Defensively. It's hard, isn't it, really? You've seen him play, he's hard to keep hold of, isn't it? I mean, no, I can't see Brett, I can't see him wanting to go anywhere else. But that's the demands of the game are such that, can we compete if somebody wants to make him a marquee player? No. Does he want to play here? And he's not undervalued. He's paid well, and he always will, because since day one he came in here and he was a player that we knew we could make into something special. Once we'd realised that fullback was his position, and he made it his position. And he made a decision himself as well that was where he was going to play and play his trade. He wasn't going to flirt between being a halfback and a fullback or a centre and that utility. And what we gave him here was a chance to say, that's your position, go at it, we'll stick through it with you. And he came through, and he came through in flying colours. He's been exceptional this year. He's been outstanding. And I think you saw yesterday, he was great on Friday. He was, like I say, he scored 12 points yesterday, but not just that, a couple of defensive reads, how he works on the goal line. I say, he drops the ball, it's the sun's in his eyes and it's swirling all over the place. But I see, you want him to catch that ball. His overall contribution to the team is huge. So I couldn't be happy with what he's doing. And the nice thing about Reece is he knows he can play better as well. He knows there's more in his game. The little things that just fell away on the weekend, he knows he can be better at. So that's pleasing as well. And we've got a lot of lads like that. And that's the exciting thing about the group, although we feel that we've underperformed the last couple of days with the ball. Joey knows he can play better, but his energy and his enthusiasm is fantastic. Defensively yesterday he was outstanding. Like I said, he knows this kicking game needs work, and he knows that but they're all working really hard. I think that's the culture and the environment we create, where everybody wants to work. The hardest part of the game is defending. That's where you've got to show your desire. And I think yesterday we saw that there's plenty, and both games really, there's plenty of attitude on this side. And if we can defend like that, that's a top 4 defensive effort. We can defend, if we can match our attack at the start of the year and put them to keep that defensive effort high, then who knows?